Shalom! All praises to the Most High. Anoka said, praise be to the earthly mother, the Pacha Mama, and all of her earthly angels, the Erkadesh. Praise be to the Holy Spirit, the Kahe, in the name of his only begotten Son, Motsah the Lamb, unification to the nation. Okay, so I decided to do this video. It was just put on me to do it. I don't know, I literally just got up and gathered these precepts. It's so weird. Like I'm on one this morning, so I'm just gonna do this video, and we're gonna learn some things about what is to come in the future, in the very near future. So I wanted to read some precepts to start things off, just to give people more precepts at the fact that this is all about us, man. All these scriptures have always been about us as a people. That isn't to say that no one else can get saved or whatever, but the promise was given to us. So I'm going to read some scriptures first to, give us some perspective. And then we're going to get into the war and the wilderness. Let's read this first. I think this is 1 Baruch chapter 1 verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleave unto us, and the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses his servant at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt, to give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, according unto all the words of the prophets whom he sent unto us. But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of the Lord our God. And therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. See, our stuff happened. We just went through it. Now, are they going to have a final hurrah? Absolutely. And that's why we need to be gathered. Because they will kill us if we're here for even more than a month. They're going to kill us. So we need to be gathered into a place where we pretty much can fight them as a group, as a community. This is what the gathering is for, right? And it's also so the Most High can nurse us and to wipe those tears away that it talks about in Revelation. It's all talking about us, bro. That a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord our God, and have not been obedient unto his voice. To the Lord our God appertaineth righteousness unto us and to our fathers open shame, and appeareth this day. For all these plagues are come upon us, which the Lord hath pronounced against us. Yet we have not prayed before the Lord, that we might turn everyone from the imaginations of his wicked heart. Wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord hath brought it upon us. For the Lord is righteous in all his works which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice, to walk in the commandments of the Lord that he hath set before us. And now, O Lord God of Israel, that hast brought thy people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand, and high arm, and with signs, and with wonders, and with great power, and hast gotten thyself a name, and appeareth this day. O Lord our God, we have sinned. We have done ungodly, we have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. See, we're few among the heathen, but now like right before the end, like the end times, we're going to be like the sands of the sea. So after he leaves us small among the heathen, then we remultiply. Right? That's how it works. And that's how it did work. And even then, only a small amount of those people are going to get saved. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and our petitions, and deliver us for thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away, that all the earth may know that thou art the Lord our God, because Israel and his posterity is called by thy name, Yashaya. O Lord, look down from thine holy house, and consider us. Bow down thine ear, O Lord, to hear us. Open thine eyes, and behold, for the dead that are in the graves, whose souls are taken from their bodies, will give unto the Lord neither praise nor righteousness. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Lord. Therefore we do not make our humble supplication before thee, O Lord our God, for the righteousness of our fathers and of our kings. For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, as thou hast spoken by thy servants the prophets, saying, Thus saith the Lord, bow down your shoulders to serve the king of Babylon. So shall ye remain in the land that I gave unto your fathers. But if ye will not hear the voice of the Lord to serve the king of Babylon, I will cause to cease out of the cities of Judah, and from without Jerusalem, the voice of mirth, and the voice of joy, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the whole land shall be desolate of inhabitants. But we would not hearken unto thy voice to serve the king of Babylon. Therefore hast thou made good the words that thou spakest by thy servants the prophets, namely, that the bones of our kings and the bones of our fathers should be taken out of their place. And lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day, and to the frost of the night, and they died in great miseries, by famine, sword, and by pestilence. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but let's skip down. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. So for people saying, "Oh, there is no more Israel," that's not scripture. Well, how do you know you're an Israelite? Because I know. And if you don't know, it's either one, you're not listening to the Most High, or you're not one. Because the Most High would let you know. Trust me, he'd let you know. He'll let you know if you're his. I figured that out from a young age. So everyone should ask the Most High who they are. It's that simple. He'll let you know if you're coming and, you really want to know. You don't have an image of who you think you are in your head. Right? And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, which is what we're doing right now, right? All praises to the Most High. Anoka said, Hiya, hiya, right? And return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. This is not the first time we've been driven out of land. We've been driven out of the Americas so many times already. Again, I have to look this up, but when they did DNA studies on the people of Peru, the population, they said that there's a population that has gotten uprooted and came back multiple times. Okay, I'm going to have to do something, so I'll come back at you guys later. Peace. And we're back. All right, sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Can I remember where I was? Probably not. But I don't need to read any more of this anyway. While I was taking my detour, I got to catch Nima's video. It was pretty good. The end is truly near. Truly near. Let's go to the next one. I think this is 2nd Baruch, chapter... I don't even know. What is this? I don't know. I can't really see. But it says chapter 69 to 76. Alright, let me see where my position is. Now, this is not the real video. This is just like me reading precepts real quick. This is the word. Okay, yeah, this is it. I believe we're actually at chapter 70, verse 2. Behold, the days are coming when the time of the world has ripened, and the harvest of its evil and good seeds has come. And it will happen at the time that the mighty one will bring confusion of spirits and consternation of heart over the earth and its inhabitants and its rulers. And they will hate one another and provoke one another to fight. You see that in Matthew 24, I believe. Right, Matthew 24. And the base will rule over the honorable, and the ignoble will be extolled over the illustrious, and many will be delivered to the few. And those who were nobodies will rule over the strong, and the poor will have more than the rich, and the impious will exalt themselves over the brave, and the wise will be silent, and the foolish will speak. And the thought of men will not be realized then, nor the counsel of the strong, nor will the hope of those who hoped be realized. And when those predicted things have come to pass, then confusion will fall upon all men, and some of them will fall in war, and some of them will perish in tribulations, and some of them will be hindered by their own. All that stuff happened to us, but you can see that everything that happened to us is coming back on them, so you can apply it. Like I'm seeing that like the Gentiles are quoting scriptures that have nothing to do with them. But in a way it does, because he made a covenant with them. And by that, I mean they were given the opportunity to be us. They come on our lands and be us. But that comes with the price. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get swept off too. You had your time to prove whether you can be his people, and you proved that you cannot. Not at all. Not even close. Because they don't know how to rule in fairness. They have the mindset of slaves. They just do. Then the Most High will give a sign to those people whom he has previously prepared, and they will come and wage war with the rulers who will remain at the time. See? There's a war coming. Who is doing it? The remnant that he's going to save. The men among them will wage war against a certain group of nations. And it will happen that he who saves himself from the war will die in an earthquake, and he who saves himself from the earthquake will be burned by fire. And we went over that in the last video. And he who saves himself from the fire will perish by famine. And I believe that's also in the apocalypse of Elijah. So we could quickly go there. I also have to remember to go to Gad this year. And it will happen that anyone who saves himself and escapes from everything which has been previously said, both those who have won and those who have been overcome, will all be delivered into the hands of my servant, the Anointed One. For the whole earth will devour its inhabitants, and the Holy Land will have mercy on its own, and it will protect its inhabitants at the time. What's the Holy Land? Well, people are about to find out real soon where the Holy Land is. Because as the sealed book of Mormon 2019 said, that the gathering should be where? In the land of the Nephites. The land of the Nephites is just all of the Americas. Abraham was given part of the Americas, as well as other lands around the world. And the Nephites were given all of the Americas, as well as the surrounding islands. And this is the vision which you have seen, and this is its interpretation. For I have come to tell you these things because your prayer has been heard by the Most High. So that's all we're going to read there. Let me quickly go to first of all, let's go to Gad this year. I love Gad this year, man. The regathering. After these true things, I had a vision from God saying, set your face eastward, northward, southward, and westward, and whistle with your mouth as a bird whistles to its young, and say, four corners of the earth, listen to the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord who sits and dwells over the cherubim. Give, 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 take out, take out, take out, my seed that I have sown in you. For the time for the seed has come. For yet a little while shall I collect my seed on my threshing floor. And the threshing floor will be holy, and impure seed will not be found there. Prior to those days, my seed was mixed with lentils and barley and finches and beans and gourds. So, it's separation season. Separation season. Let's go to Apocalypse of Elijah real quick. I know there was an earthquake here, bro. Okay, no. And in those days it will run to the rocks and leap off, saying, fall upon us, and they will not die. A double affliction will multiply upon the whole land. So that's what I was probably thinking of. Let's move on. So I wanted to, to remind you guys about the fact that Michael, the Archangel Michael, as it says in Daniel as well as Revelation, he will stand up and he will fight for us. And I know that if you precept the book of Jasher, you should be able to find out that Shem is actually Melchizedek, but this is plainly said, so there is no confusion. During this time, Amzara conceived again, and she brought forth another son. At his birth Noah said, no man shall be his master, but the righteous of Enochasset alone. So the child named Melchizedek, which is to say, my king is righteous. And after conferring together, all his relatives decided that in order to protect him from the rivalries that he may encounter, and to safeguard his vision, they will simply call him the name which is said Shem. And thus in this way the child would be hidden from the wicked, in his purpose before Enochasset for all his days. When in the company of strangers he was called Shem. So names were very important. Very important. That's why they had to hide names and give people different names and things of the sort. Let me see. Now look at this. Now Patach overlooked all the surface of the earth that was covered with the flood, and all the regions round about as far as the flood extended. But it did not flood Eden for the sake of Enoch. And there Shem blew the trump of summons, and called forth all the Erkadeshoi one by one, and for a jubilee of days. So, by the way, did you know that America was the only land that was not hit by the flood? Yeah, that's even in the natives' prophecy, that America was not flooded. Shem, who is known to the Erkadeshoi as Michael the Prince. See, Shem is Archangel Michael. Right? Now let's go back. God, come save us, for our shame is too great for us to bear. Why, oh why, did it have to be one of our kind who brought this great dishonor upon us in your sight? And Anochus had said, I will have a son, and by his hand I will send Michael, who is one anointed to save you. For there is coming a great war in heaven. For all this do the Erkadesh call Melchizedek Michael, and for this did Messiah say by the mouth of the prophets, Michael will help me. And it came to pass, And it came to pass in those days, the great Michael, who was prince of Shabua, stood up, and he beheld that the fallen were intermingled with the Erkadesh. We read that last time, right? And it came to pass that Michael stood forth to declare the wickedness of the fallen had become altogether an abomination. And Michael fought during the first 4 declarations of Messiah to cast him out from being in the midst of the Erkadesh. Now the declarations are the trumpets. As we went over last time, the declarations are the trumpets. And towards the end of the 4th one, that is when we get gathered. At the 5th one, that's when they unleash their Antichrist. Everything gets burned with fire. And then the real tribulation for the wicked begins, because this is baby stuff. This coronavirus, this stuff is baby stuff. They don't even know what the hell is coming to them. So their Antichrist, their whatever, great tribute, that's their stuff. That's what they have to go through. And that includes the wicked Israelites. So, hey, if you want to be with the wicked, with the heathen, then keep being wicked. It is what it is, man. I feel bad for people, but this is the choice that they're choosing. Let me see. Where do I want to go to next? Okay, so wait, should I? Dang, I don't remember. I'm sorry. What was I going to go to next? Okay, well, last night we spoke about how Comet Erasmus came at the midway point, right? September 17th, that's the midway point of the new year. Now, the midway point would naturally be the 7th month. Because if we have 12 months and we have 360 days, right? Plus 4, but it's plus 1 after each season. So each season is 90 days plus 1. So each season is 91 days. So at the 182nd day, that is our midway point. And let's say each month is 30 days, because that would be like an equal division of days, right? 30 days, right? That would mean that September 17th is the beginning of the 7th month, right? So just keep that in mind. In fact, let me go to it real quick. I'm using this PowerPoint because, the precepts that this person had were pretty good. And this person touches on the coming of Michael or Melchizedek or Shem, right? Who's coming to pretty much save the whole world. He begins the saving. And then the Messiah finishes it. Then Motsah finishes it. Let's read this. Zion is the congregation of all the sons of the righteous, who uphold the covenant and turn away from walking in the way of the people. Your divine being is Melchizedek, who will deliver them from the power of Belial. And we went over who Belial was, and I believe in the Mexican or the Mexican series that I did. It was part 3, and we went over Belial. Concerning what Scripture says, then you shall have the trumpet sounded loud in the 7th month. This comet came at the beginning of the 7th month, literally on the first day. So that's definitely something to note. And then I also went over yesterday how the perihelion that it reaches is a feast day, or at least around a feast day's time. So, the now Chichen Itza, we went over Chichen Itza, right? Now, even this pyramid or this calendar is constructed in the same way, in the same exact way as the seasons, as well as a calendar would be, right? So let's read this. This immense pyramid is rife with calendrical numerology. There are 91 steps on each of the four sides. So it has four sides, 91 steps. What does that sound like? A season. You have the first day going all the way to the 91st day. Right? So each season has 91 days. And at the end of the fourth season, you will have Anokas's day, which is the 165th day. And because there are extra days, there's extra time, you would have to add, another day at 4 years or so. So this is our calendar. Chichen Itza is our calendar. Absolutely is our calendar. These 364 steps plus the final step at the top before the altar corresponds to the solar year. Right? Now let's go to, where is it? The book of Enoch, chapter 75. And the leaders of the heads of the thousands who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars have also to do with the 4 intercalary days, being inseparable from their office according to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on the 4 days which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year, and owing to them men go wrong therein, for those luminaries truly render service on the world stations, one in the first portal, one in the third portal of heaven, one in the fourth portal, and one in the sixth portal, and the exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate 364 stations, right? 364. So this doesn't go over the extra year, the extra day, right? But the Mayans knew about this, bro, because, again, the Mayans are just the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom contains the tribe of Issachar. They were responsible for the calendar. Let me see if there's anything else I want to read. Okay, so now that we've established that each season has 91 days, right? Now, celebration of new oil. This is what we went over yesterday a little bit. Let me go over real quick now. And with his covenant, the pathway back to Eden was come to dwell in both their hearts, and the division of days measures that pathway. And the celebration of new oil is a jubilee of days, from the day of remembering virtue. And it is a day to bless the oil of the righteous. And it is a time to express thankfulness for the gift of life that can be led in the presence of the Holy One who lives in Eden. And it is a day when the congregations of the righteous are spoken to by Anokased, and they are guided in the way according to their needs from their kind Father. To live with their Father, to fulfill the desires of their hearts, to be expressed, and all of these lodgings are shared with him, and with one another, and the desire for the wickedness to be done away, and for righteousness to cover the earth, will comfort Anokased. And it is a day to pray for our loved ones, who are bound down in the midst of the domination of the wicked, and the rocks of Ebedel shall be instructed concerning them, that they are to be anointed, together with all of the people on that day. So that's pretty much what the day is about. I don't know why that's significant for the comet to reach perihelion, but I'm just pretty much sharing the information. All right. So what we're gonna go to now? Now we're gonna get into the War Scroll. So this is pretty much what I wanted to get into. So let's read a little bit of this first. For the instructor, the rule of the war, the first attack of the sons of light shall be undertaken against the forces of the sons of darkness, the army of Belial. So we went over how we were going to wage war over them in, I believe, 2nd Baruch, right? Now this is going into the war. the troops of Edom, Moab, the sons of Ammon, the Amalekites, Philistinia, and the troops of the kingdom of Asher. And we went over the fact that the Assyrians probably aren't from the Asher of Shem. They're probably from the Kittim, which is from Javan, which is from Cain. Supporting them are those who have violated the covenant, the sons of Levi, the sons of Judah, and the sons of Benjamin. Those exiled to the wilderness shall fight against them, against all their troops, when the exiles of the sons of light return from the wilderness of the peoples to camp in the wilderness of Jerusalem. Then after the battle they shall go up from that place. This text is so small. And Tile, king of the Kittim, shall enter into Egypt. In his time he shall go forth with great wrath to do battle against the kings of the north. And in his anger he shall set out to destroy and eliminate the strength of Israel. Then there shall be a time of salvation for the people of God, and a time of dominion for all the men of his forces, and eternal annihilation for all the forces of Belial. There shall be great panic among the sons of Japheth. Assyria shall fall with no one to come to his aid. And the supremacy of the Kittim shall cease, that wickedness be overcome without a remnant. There shall be no survivors of all the sons of darkness. So there you go. Now let's get into this person's notes, because he made some good notes. Let me see where I wanted to start. The coming of Melchizedek. So I want to read a few of these. And concerning what Scripture says, in this year of Jubilee you shall return, everyone you to your property. And what is also written, and this is the manner of the remission. Every creditor shall remit the claim that is held against a neighbor, not exacting it of a neighbor who is a member of the community, because God's remission has been proclaimed. Their interpretation is that it applies to the last days and concerns the captives. Just as Isaiah said, to proclaim the Jubilee to the captives, in Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1. Just as, and from the inheritance of Melchizedek, for Melchizedek, who will return them to what is rightfully theirs. He will proclaim to them the Jubilee, thereby releasing them from the debt of all their sins. He shall proclaim this decree in the first week of the Jubilee period that follows 9 Jubilee periods. So I thought, is a Jubilee period 7 years, or so is that 7 times 9? Is that what it means? I don't know. Then the Day of Atonement shall follow after the 10th Jubilee period, when he shall atone for all the sons of light and for the people who are predestined to Melchizedek upon them. For this is the time decreed for the year of Melchizedek's favor. And by his might he will judge God's holy ones, and so establish a righteous kingdom, as it is written about him in the songs of David. A godlike being has taken his place in the council of God. In the midst of divine beings he holds judgment. Scripture also says about him, over it take your seat in the highest heaven. A divine being will judge the peoples. Concerning what Scripture says, how long will you judge unjustly and show partiality with the wicked? Selah. Their interpretation applies to Belial and the spirits predestined to him, because all of them have rebelled, turning from God's precepts, and so becoming utterly wicked. Let me see. Let's skip down a little bit. For with the congregation of his people, for it was wallowed in the sin of the sons of men, and it was appointed for great judgments and evil diseases in the flesh, according to the mighty deeds of God, and in accordance with their wickedness, each man according to his lot which he has cast for eternal life. Violent men have sought after my life, because I have clung to your covenant. For they, an assembly of deceit, and a horde of Belial, know not that my stand is maintained by you. Let's see. Now getting back on the war scroll stuff. The hand of the might of God in battle, so as to bring down all the slain because of unfaithfulness. On the trumpets of ambush they shall write mysteries of God to wipe out wickedness. On the trumpets of pursuit they shall write, God has struck all sons of darkness. For they are a wicked congregation. All their deeds are in darkness. It is their desire. They have established all their refuge in a lie. Their strength is as smoke that vanishes, and all their vast assembly is as chaff which blows away. Desolation, and shall not be found. Every creature of greed shall wither quickly away like a flower in harvest time, or at harvest time. And this is 1 Samuel 2, verse 9 and 10. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength, no man prevail. The adversaries of Anokesed shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. Anokesed shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed, which is Michael, which is Melchizedek, which is Shem, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked. Let's skip down. He has good precepts, and I'll leave a link in the description. But I wanted to mostly get on the war scroll. Shall I not write that day, saith the Most High, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, and the mighty men of Moab trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. He's coming after all of them. You see how, Tupac came after the whole junior mafia. This is what's going on, bro. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of Palm Tree. Is that talking about, what is it talking about? Is that talking about Cali? Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith Anokesed of hosts, the power of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. Is that a lie? Nope. And he shall set up an sign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim, but they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west, they shall spoil them out of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. Don't you guys understand what this is talking about? This is talking about those black-ass Europeans who've mixed in with the so-called white people and who are secretly ruling over us. Like, come on, man. And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it into 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. I still don't know exactly where that Egyptian sea is. I know people think that, it's the Mississippi. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let me see. And so it was, when Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites, and the children of the east, even they came up against them, Who are the children of the east? East of where, bro? We're in the west, so who's east? Palestinia, we went over that in one of the parts of my series, how that land is their I said Palestine, I meant Philistinia. But yeah, the same thing. That's their land of sojourners. But I'm not trying to get into all of these precepts. Again, I'll put this in the description. Here's the temple scroll, the Thanksgiving. I wanted to hear more on the war scrolls. Let me see. The wilderness of the peoples. We didn't put anything here. Okay, let's read, I guess, the major themes of the scroll. It is clear that the difference between the sons of light and the sons of darkness is the difference between those who keep the covenant and those who don't, right? The sons of darkness are utterly destroyed from among the sons of light, right? At the end, the location shifts from the wilderness of the peoples to the wilderness of Jerusalem, the wedding supper. Wow, you see that? Wow. Where there will be much jubilation and wedding like joy. All 12 tribes seem to be reunited. There is a comparison to the Exodus. The sons of darkness seem to be a mingling of the east and the west coming together at the end days. Hey, see, this is why I wanted to go over this, because this guy had some good precepts. And this is a lot of reading, honestly. Let's go back to this. Then the sons of righteousness shall shine to the ends of the world, continuing to shine forth until the end of the appointed seasons of darkness. Then at the time appointed by God, his great excellence shall shine for all the times of eternity, for peace and blessing, joy, glory and joy, and long life for all sons of light. On the day when the Kittim fall, there shall be a battle and horrible carnage before the God of Israel. For it is a day appointed by him from ancient times as a battle of annihilation for the sons of darkness. On that day the congregation of the gods and the congregation of men shall engage one another, resulting in great carnage. The sons of light and the forces of darkness shall fight together to show the strength of God with the roar of a great multitude and the shout of gods and men, a day of disaster. It is a time of distress for all the people who are redeemed by God, and all their afflictions none exists that is like it, hastening to its completion as an eternal redemption on the day of their battle against the Kittim. They shall go forth for carnage and battle. In 3 lots the sons of light shall stand firm so as to strike a blow at wickedness, and in 3 the army of Belial shall strengthen themselves so as to force the retreat of the forces of light. And when the banners of the infantry cause their hearts to melt, then the strength of God will strengthen the hearts of the sons of light. I think that sounds like, wow, that sounds like the fourth urgency. If you guys know what I'm talking about, shoot me an email, bro. I prefer if you shoot me an email rather than say in the comments, because that stuff's kind of like, I don't know. In the 7th lot, the great hand of God shall overcome Belial and all the angels of his dominion, and all the men of his forces shall be destroyed forever. So there is pretty much 7 wars that's going to happen. 3 is going to go to us, 3 is going to go to them, and the last one, we win. So that's another thing. Let me see. Should I keep reading? It's just a lot, bro. Alright, we could read one more section. And the Holy One shall shine forth in support of blank. There's no word. I have to zoom in on this because I can't really see this. The truth for the annihilation of the sons of darkness. Then a great roar. They took hold of the implements of war, chiefs of the tribes, and the priests, the Levites, the chiefs of the tribes, the fathers of the congregation, the priests, and thus for the Levites and the courses of the heads of the congregation's clans. 52. They shall rank the chiefs of the priests after the chief priest and his deputy. 12 chief priests to serve in the regular offering before God. The chief of the courses, 26, shall serve in their courses. After them, the chiefs of the Levites serve continually, 12 in all. 12 in all, one to a tribe. The chiefs of their courses shall serve each man in his office. Okay, I don't think I need to read all this. From all tribes of Israel they shall prepare capable men for themselves to go out for battle according to the summons of the war, year by year. But during the years of remission they shall not ready men to go out for battle, for it is a Sabbath. For rest for Israel. During the 35 years of service the war shall be waged. For 6 years the whole congregation shall wage it together. And a war of division shall be waged during the 29th remaining years. In the first year they shall fight against Mesopotamia. In the second against the sons of Lud. In the third they shall fight against the rest of the sons of Aram. Uz, Hol, Togar, and Mesha were beyond the Euphrates. And the fourth and fifth they shall fight against the sons of Arpachshad. And the sixth and seventh they shall fight against all the sons of Syria and Persia and the Easterners up to the great desert. In the 8th year they shall fight against the sons of Elam. In the 9th year they shall fight against the sons of Ishmael and Keturah. And during the following 10 years the war shall be divided against the sons of Ham according to their clans and their territories. During the remaining 10 years the war shall be divided against all sons of Japheth according to their territories. Let me see. Let me read one more thing, and then I'll end the video. Where is it? Okay. And thus shall he instruct them in the mysteries of marvel and truth among the men of the community, that they may walk in perfection, each man with his fellow, in all that has been revealed to them. This is the time for the preparation of the way into the wilderness. He shall instruct them in all that is to be done in that time. And he shall separate from every man who has not turned away from all injustice. And these are the rules of conduct for the master in those times with respect to his loving and hating. Everlasting hatred for the men of the pit in the spirit of secrecy. He shall leave to them properly and gain, and the earnings of toil, like a slave to his lord, and the poor man to his master. Each shall be zealous for the precept, and his time shall become a day of revenge. He shall perform the will of God in all his actions and in all his dominion as he has commanded. Now, the wording that he's using, don't get hijacked. You just get the point of what he's trying to say. And all that befalls him he shall enjoy as a free gift, and without the will of God he shall not enjoy anything. He shall delight in all the words of his mouth, and shall desire nothing that he has not commanded. And he shall watch always for the judgment of God, and he shall bless his maker, and in all the befalls that he shall declare. I'm butchering this really badly, I'm sorry. And with the offerings of the lips he shall bless him at the times which he has decreed, at the beginning of the dominion of light, and the completion of its circus when it retires to its appointed dwellings, at the beginning of the watches of darkness, when he opens its storehouse and spreads it out, and at the completion of its current when it okay. See, this is why I took so long to get into this, because this is how it reads. Like, what the hell is this, man? So I'm gonna recap pretty much. So last week, we're gathered into the wilderness. The trumpet summon sounds. How we get gathered, I'm not necessarily sure. I'm guessing that it might have to do with the ley lines, bro. Because even in this really new game, this video game they have, this thing's called like Genshin Impact, and they have this concept of ley lines. And when you go to a certain point, like it's literally like teleportation places all over the map. In fact, let me see if I could Google images it real quick. See, these points are ley line points, and you can teleport to these points. That's what I mean. That's why I'm just like, interesting stuff. So that gathering, it could be happening with ley lines. I don't know, or something else. I don't know. I don't really care though. That's the point. I'm gonna look into all this stuff. I don't mean I don't care in that way. I mean I don't care how it happens. But I know it's gonna be exciting. I know it's gonna be cool. So let's recap. So we get gathered, right? By however means it happens, we're gathered into the wilderness. Now, in the wilderness, I didn't read this part, but this is where we pretty much learn of our tribes, right? And then there's a second separation that's going to occur in the first wilderness. Because people are going to give, it most likely gives people chance after chance after chance. And then it's going to be a test to see who is truly worthy, right? That's why I keep telling you guys, clean yourselves up. Because even if you get into the wilderness, that still doesn't mean that you're worthy. Then we're going to have to wage war against the enemies, right? We're going to have certain years that we, don't do any real like work and stuff like that. Because we're going to have Sabbath years or, Jubilee years. So we pretty much come out of the wilderness and we continuously fight against our enemies who have enslaved us. Right? And then afterward, I'm guessing that Motsah comes and finishes the job. But yeah, we're going to have wars. We're going to win some. They're going to win some. But ultimately, we're going to be victorious. So, I don't know. I might have to go over this again. I don't know. But the next video will probably be my last when it comes to prophecy breakdown, because I think I pretty much went over everything that needs to be said really much. Like, of course, there are many precepts that I have not gone over. But the main idea is that, one, we're getting gathered very, very soon. And we're getting gathered into an initial wilderness where we pretty much will have to raise, I think it said, you know what? How could I forget, man? How could I forget about my bro? Because he did a whole series on the War Scrolls. S Black, my brother, has a whole Wars Against the Children of Light. Bro, watch this. Brother was well spoken, right? You guys got to check this playlist out, man. Check it out. I'm gonna leave the link in the description so you guys can check it out. Because this, he pretty much breaks it down. He does it in an articulate way. So, it's better to just listen to him. And then you could use some of the precepts that I gave you. So that's pretty much what it is for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And, I'll come at you guys with another one. I don't know when, but I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. But that's not how I close out videos. And so until the next one, may peace be with you. Selah Kala.